Welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous and the city of Alushinyrra. Let's continue to look around town. Now I do know where we're going, but... yeah, that's where we're going. We're going to the Bad Luck Tavern. Is that what we found? Things to see in Alushinyrra. A pamphlet by... what's his face? Berzimbim Gimspar. That is an extraordinarily silly name. That was probably what we found.
This is my kind of work.
We've been up there. That's where we killed that guy. We can climb up the rooftops here, but we are going into the inn. Now, one of the things that I really like about Alushinyrra is the fact that they have this Persian-style music here. And I really like this song they have here. Of course, the song ended. I think it was that. They really could have a slider here for sound effects. As in the buffs sound effects. Anyhow, you need to heal.
Skip the pleasantries.
No. You cast heal on Brother Wooderdriff. Thank you. And we'll head into the Bad Luck Tavern.
Doubt is the heart's greatest challenge.
Let's carefully look around here. I suspect there are traps. I mean, we have to
Can't hide from me.
see? We have to relieve the
Who,
guests
me?
of their valuables, right?
Pretty good, aren't I?
It is kind of obligatory. Prismatic ring. 7,500. That one is pretty good, actually. Prismatic spray is a good spell.
This is my kind of work.
Some cold iron. I think these are just regular... I'm gonna pick them up, but... it's not that like we need them. Where are you going, Wardriff? So there are 3 entrances / exits to the Bad Luck Tavern.
Aha!
What is that? I'm sure the bartender won't mind us looting stuff behind his counter at all. What the heck was this? His ledger. Brew 3 barrels, too expensive. Better get the stuff that's gone slightly bad. Absinthe is for important guests, not to be wasted on regular clients. The broth has been drained from the baths in the 10,000 delights. 2 buckets, smells of meat. Add some salt. Oh dear. Rotten cheese. Was a big hit with the locals. Should order more. Need to ask them to add more maggots next time. I need to rip the chef's head off for using so much of it. It's not salt for F's sake. It tastes like piss, but the guests for the material plain drink it like there's no tomorrow. You can easily get rid of the smell with garlic and mustard. Oh god. Yeah, right, okay. This looks like a wonderful place to eat. Let's talk to the bartender. A wrinkled demon with broken fangs and a missing eye stands before you. The eye socket is occupied by a large, squirming, multi-legged insect. Yet it seems not to cause the demon any discomfort. He greets you with high venom in his tone. Welcome to the bad luck. I am Bhurgaz, the innkeeper. Our establishment upholds a high standard of service in that it's better to eat and drink here instead of a ditch. Yeah, I read the ledger, so... Sleep here at your own risk, drown the rest of your life in cheap swill, or purchase goods of the highest quality and dubious origin. Upon giving your entourage an appraising look, the demon adds in a silken voice, We accept payment in gold and slaves. Dirty floor, terrible booze, a clientele of scoundrels, each one more dreadful than the last, and an innkeeper who's a crook, and probably a creep. Ah, the perfect venue to celebrate our arrival in this god's-forsaken place. Who wants to keep me company and maybe even entertain the other patrons with a few crusader songs? I doubt they've even heard them before. You can count on me. We do not abandon our own. Let's find out what the locals here use to drown their sorrows. Surely it can't taste any worse than that mongrel liquor made from venomous spiders. Where can I find Nocticula? The demon goggles, then bursts into deafening laughter. Tiny bugs fly out of his maw. Wiping away bloody tears and giggling, he grabs a particularly nimble insect and tosses it back down his gullet. You can find her in the palace, mortal. The thing is, she won't see just anyone. The last person who had the nerve to show up uninvited now lives in the catacombs, and everyone calls him Scrap. Care to guess why? I don't know who you think you are, but you will not be allowed on her doorstep unless she invites you herself. And to receive an invitation from Nocticula, you've got to be an influential and renowned figure in Alushinyrra. Or you could do something to piss her off. Sometimes those two things are one and the same. Angering a ruler in their own domain? Sounds exceptionally stupid and dangerous. When do we start? How do I earn an invitation from Nocticula? The demon shrugs. Your chances are slim, but you look cocky, so you could try the gladiator fights in Battle Bliss. Everybody loves a good butcher. The dirtier and bloodier you fight, the more respect you'll earn. Only fools fight fair, so you must prove you know the ways of the fighter's craft. The crowd will love you if you torment the loser before finishing them off. Make them shriek, squeal, and beg for death. Then you can count on having the fight of your life. You will face an Ahindrian League champion. Your death will be a symphony of suffering the audience will forever remember. Most can only dream of such a fate. You can cozy up to someone in the upper city. The more influential your patron, the more respect you will be shown. Just remember that in Alushinyrra, only the most skilled predators make it to the top, like Lady Belexia. More often than not, their offer of friendship is an introduction to their intrigues, and they will get into your head, twist your thoughts, make you hate yourself, and make you destroy everything you've ever loved with your own hands. That's their idea of fun. If you know how to, shall we say, solve problems, you could try to get under Shamira's wing. She presides over the harem of ardent dreams in the middle city and rules Alushinyrra. Lady Nocticula does not stoop to such trifles herself. Commanding the city is dirty, bloody work, and Shamira is always in need of capable assistants, especially since she changes them as soon as they start to reek of her dark deeds. Walk through the slums. Everyone you'll see there tried to climb higher but fell into a trap. There are plenty of warnings in their incoherent ramblings. Somehow I don't see this doing much good, but for the amusement of it. I am the commander of the Golarian Crusaders. Show some respect. So, you're a big deal on Golarian? So what? This may come as a surprise, but Crusaders don't have much authority in the Abyss. Here, everyone sees you as an outsider with a doubtful past. If you want to carry any weight here, you'll have to build up your reputation. Tell me the latest rumors. The demon pours a shot of liquor that smells of blood and bitter ash. No problem. Have a drink and we'll talk. 500 gold. Do I really want to drink this? Sure, deal. The demon observes your face with obvious interest. The liquor stings and fills your mouth with a foul taste of salt and rotten fish. What do you want to know? Tell me about Alushinyrra. In short, there is no order in this city. There never has been and never will be. There are no laws here, as we demons spit on laws. The only law here is might makes right. Take everything you can and give away anything you can't protect. Obey those stronger than you and maybe they'll devour someone else. Everyone does what Nocticula says. She split Alushinyrra into 3 quarters. The lower city, the middle city, and the upper city. The elites live comfortable lives above, the fools and losers rot below, and everyone else sits in the middle and dreams of climbing up, though they mostly fall. Each quarter is walled so that no one goes anywhere they shouldn't. Guards watch the gates. Although in truth the guards are just a bunch of the most vicious and violent demons who carry out Nocticula's commands. If someone cuts you down in front of them, they won't interfere unless she orders them to. Then again, if you decide to bash someone's head in, they won't concern themselves with it. The only reason they might chase you away is if they want to loot the corpse themselves. The important thing is, don't kill anyone in front of a crowd and don't bother guests from other planes. Nocticula has her reasons. He's trying to turn Alushinyrra into the interplanar bazaar of the abyss. And as you walk around Alushinyrra, keep track of the time. Oh, not in some tiresome don't waste your time sense. Watch the time as if you were in a jungle and a predator was lurking in the brush. It might pounce on you and freeze you in place, stealing days, months, even years. You wouldn't notice any changes, and everyone around you would grow old and forget about you. In the abyss, time is a fickle and unruly thing. Tell me about this quarter. The demon points to a bottle of liquor. Imagine Alushinyrra is this bottle. The lower city is the bottom. The explanation is quite apt, as the bottom of the bottle is coated with foul-looking scum and a dead insect with 2 fanged mouths is stuck to it. A cesspit. If someone or something needs to be eliminated, they send it to the lower city. They say the arena is the heart of the quarter, but that's nonsense. This whole quarter is one massive arena. Everyone here is a murderer, a thief, and a scumbag. The bloodshed never ceases, and the denizens of Alushinyrra watch it with delight and wager on who will emerge from this lake of blood. You may think of the slums as a useless appendage, but they are the main source of entertainment for the city. What about the other quarters of the city? The middle city is all about trade. 10,000 Delights offers sex, the flesh markets deal in slaves and weapons, the mercenaries and assassins sell the death of enemies. The most successful business person of all is Shamira at the Harem of Ardent Dreams. Is it Harem? Harem? I think it's Harem. Her merchandise is Nocticula's favour and the favour of the powers that be. The upper city is for those who already have everything and have no use for trade. Imagine if you were a creature of divine power that could live in complete comfort, free of almost all limits. That's the kind who live in the upper city. You'd be wise to stay away from them. In the lower city, they'll just kill you and defile your corpse. In the upper city, they'll pull your soul out through your nostrils with a red-hot needle, cook it into a stew, and then force you to eat it and wash it down with a cocktail made from your eyes and marrow. Are there many folks from Golarion here? Quite a few, but most of them wear special accessories. The demon draws an imaginary circle around his neck. They're slaves, is what I mean. Or meat sometimes. You get some free ones from time to time. Scum, as a rule, the only type who can survive amongst demons. You humans can survive anywhere, even in the cauldron of madness that is Alushinyrra. Just like cockroaches, eh? Have you heard of someone named Willardus? Of course. That's the name of the demon who serves as, shall we say, Nocticulus court mage. The name has come up a few times recently because the innkeeper's voice drops to a low conspiratorial tone. They say Discari's servants sent assassins after him. He rubbed the locusts the wrong way, and now he's holed up in his palace, which he has turned into a fortress. Everything is clear. One last thing, mortal. You must have noticed that Alushinyrra was not built for your kind. It would be easy for you to get lost in our streets and die an inglorious death if you don't know how to fly or teleport. But why should I want you to die while you're still drinking? Take this. If you lose your way, take it to any arch and it will transport you here. Nocticular's idea, to aid guests from other planes, such as yourself. That was nice of him. We can use the portal then. Show me your wares. The demon kicks open a large chest filled to the brim with all sorts of things. There are weapons and blooded clothing. It seems these items once belonged to visitors from many different worlds. Here you are. Have your gold ready. I do not offer credit. The demon's voice drops to a whisper. By the way, I have something unique I can offer only to you. An Ahindrian crystal. It holds incredible power. What's an Ahindrian crystal? You mean you haven't heard of them? But everyone in Alushinyrra talks about them non-stop. Well, listen. This lot of demons appeared and they were so strong you couldn't help but wonder how they acquired such power. And the strange thing is, those same demons used to be common riffraff. Then they became... well, I don't know what they are, but whatever it is, it's strong. Rumor has it these supposed Nahindrian crystals are their source of their power. Nobody knows what they are or how to get them, but everybody wants one. The word has grown quite popular. These days everything is Nahindrian this and Nahindrian that, no matter where you look. It's all hogwash and lies, of course, but my crystal is the real deal. Don't ask how I acquired it, that's my secret, but I could sell it to you. I have no idea whether or not that thing is real. Fascinating, I'm interested. Yeah, no, this is not an Ahindrian crystal. It's also quite a crappy item. He doesn't sell anything of interest, really. We'll get the food components. Crystallized crystallized demonic rage. That sounds like a wonderful spice, huh? Do I want to sell now? As you might remember, me saying something about 50 episodes or something ago, when we were at like 4,000 max carry weight. Look at our max carry weight now. 24,590. So we're not even lightly... rather, we are in the light part of the encumbrance, and already we can carry double the amount of what our maximum amount was back then. Lind's family short sword. No, I think I'm happy with this. But there is something that I want to do though. We did get Radiance fully upgraded. Note that this becomes a Holy Avenger in the hand of a paladin or a good aligned mythic creature. Which means that it is one of the most powerful weapons in the game. Of course, one could always wish that it was Vorpal Holy Avenger, which seems to be the dream of any paladin. Vorpal being an ability that has a chance to automatically just behead whoever you attack with a sword if you score a critical, I think it was. So it does 17 to 24 damage, which is nice. But against evil creatures, it also deals an additional 2d6 damage. it also makes the weapon good aligned. And while this one is good, because this one is also Evil Outsider Bane, which makes it a +5 weapon. Oh, this is a temporary enhancement, actually. Yeah, that's from Greater Magic. Evil Outsider Bane Cold Iron is what this thing is. Probably +1. But, however, we are going to let Sela use Radiance instead. Which is quite radiant. Fun, very much intended. He's also using a Divine Protector shield. I think we got a better shield than that. This one is definitely better. That's tiny. But it does give more armor class. It's kind of nice though. If you get fire damage and you actually take that damage, you're immune to that damage for 1 round. Not a bad weapon. Shield. Why aren't you wearing an amulet? You are wearing a phylactery of positive channeling. Suffer bleed damage equal to 7. That isn't bad. I mean, the best thing to put on her would probably be a headband of charisma. Darren should have this. Wait, that didn't do anything. He's got something that gives... Oh, Eagle Splendor. That's right. Anything. Yeah, we can give her the helmet, and she can... We'll just buff her with the necessary spell. There are many things here that I need to go through in items. Dexterity +2. This on him. This is a Dexterity +6 belt. Wait. Actually, this one, because of the high critical range of the daggers, and only has 19 to 20, but Buljif has better. So if you take this, and then Lan, you can take this, since strength does help him, because I believe this is composite. Yes. Other than that, I need to go through and look at all these things. There is a lot of things I need to have a look at. That on him, of course. It's still really loud. Let's talk to Mielarah. Greeting you with a nod is a middle-aged sorceress with short dark hair, a skinny face, and prominent cheekbones that bring to mind images of predatory wolves. Despite the dark circles under her eyes and her overall worn-out look, her voice sounds friendly and welcoming. Hey, you're not a local, are you? No. Have you come from Golarion? That makes us fellow countrymen, since I hail from Absalom. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Magister Mielarah, certified specialist in resolving magic-related issues and the captain of an airship called Starcatcher III. What's a sorceress from Absalom doing in this rat hole in the middle of this? For a couple of seconds, the woman's gaze grows distant and a bitter expression appears on her face before quickly fading. I suppose you could say that I'm trying to cheat my own fate. In the current stage of my life, the Abyss seems like the best port to call home for me. There aren't a lot of experienced and at the same time trustworthy captains around here, so I never sit idle. Oh boy. If the Abyss seems like the best port to call home in your current stage of life, I do not want to know what on earth is going on in your life. You seem honest. How do you manage to survive in this place? Frowning a little, Mielarah crosses her arms in a resolute gesture. I see what you're getting at. You're asking how a captain who doesn't grab everything that isn't bolted down, a captain that doesn't steal cargo and doesn't throw passengers overboard, how can they survive surrounded by a gang of bloody pirates? My answer is simple. My principles protect me. I strictly follow the unwritten aeronaut code. I never ignore those in distress, I never attack other vessels, and I honor the integrity of the cargo that I am entrusted with. Maybe I look like an idiot to the other captains, but I don't care. My doggedness earns their respect, even if it also provokes their ire. Besides, they know that I'm stubborn, and I'll defend myself till the very end. I suppose that's the real reason why they haven't slit my throat and seized my ship yet. I'd like to know more about you and your ship. I can understand your curiosity. You won't find another ship like Starcatcher III in the Abyss. Actually, captains like me are a rarity here as well, for obvious reasons. Starcatcher III, so there was a first and a second. The cheerful smile of the sorceress fades away. Starcatcher II crashed on the rocks of Alushinyrra. We're sailing over Mara Island when a mutiny broke out. It's an evil place where discord and hostility fills the air like a noxious miasma. A part of the crew tried to seize the ship, the others remained loyal to me, and a massacre ensued. Defending myself, I had to fight my friends till I was the last one standing. Last survivor. All by myself, I barely managed to guide my ship to Alushinyrra. But when I was bringing her into land, the rocks tore into her like a fishmonger gutting a fish. Starcatcher II was irreparably damaged. As for me, I escaped with a couple of bruises and a chipped tooth. The sorceress squeezes out a bitter smile. As for Starcatcher I, it was because of her that I decided to settle in the Abyss. How did you wind up in the Abyss? The face of the sorceress becomes grim. The words seem to come from somewhere cold and remote, as if from the grave. I was once a member of the Arcana Miriam, the most prestigious magic academy in Absalom. Back then I was a captain too, and I delivered special cargo and passengers at my colleague's request. I had been assigned to a risky and extremely important rescue mission on the plain of Abaddon. I had to rescue a group of Pathfinders who had gotten into hot water there. I literally ripped them out of the claws of Gravedragger, the herald of Sisyphus, god of accidental and pointless death. What the heck kind of a god is that? Sorry for laughing, but there's a god of accidental and pointless death? Okay, I guess. I mean, who would worship a god of accidental and pointless death? Oh, Sisyphus, god of accidental and pointless death, I beseech you today to... I mean, you wouldn't even pray to this god for asking for one of your enemies to die, because that wouldn't be accidental, nor would it be pointless. Well, it might be accidental, but no, it wouldn't be accidental. Never mind. Let's just continue. Sorry about the distraction. This just amused me too much. And that son of a bitch never forgave me for that show of disrespect. He put a curse on me. People around me started dying, both those I cared about and those I'd never heard of. News of horrible, pointless and tragic accidents that cut lives unnaturally short followed me wherever I went. But nothing happened to me. I managed to get out of trouble, any trouble without a scratch. Even when violence raged all around, I tried to get rid of my curse, but no one could lift it. Soon after that, Starcatcher I was wrecked in a terrible storm. Then I decided to go into voluntary exile and stay away from the plains where civility, mercy, and common sense are valued. Here in the Abyss, I can at least avoid mourning those whose lives are cut short due to my curse. Besides, the Abyss is insane and bloody enough even without me, so my cruel fate can add very little to this crazy whirlwind of aggression. Dan listens to the tale with rapt attention, without moving a single muscle and seemingly even forgetting to breathe. This is the first time I've ever seen a real captain. Tell me, how does it feel to... well... Dan stops, unable to find the right words. A soft smile, Mielarah supplies the rest. To be an aeronaut? How can I describe it, lad? It's just the best job in the whole world. Be right back. Sorry about that. First I start laughing at this weird god, and then I had to go away because important phone call that I didn't even notice. So thankfully, husband told me that I had to attend to my phone. But yes, at least I got that sentence finished. So let's continue on here and ask her about her job. Or rather her ship. Tell me about your ship. Starcatcher III, as you can guess by her name, is not the first ship I have captained, but she is without a doubt the most technologically advanced, and she has been through the most amazing adventures. She's the most reliable and neat vessel you can find in the Midnight Isles. She and we've been through serious hardship more than once, but my ship has never failed me. Once, Starcatcher III even made a short raid to the Rift of Repose, a place where the souls of murdered demon lords slowly disintegrate, imprisoned inside crumbling stone sculptures. Plus, I should also note that Starcatcher III has a unique reputation in these parts. She has never participated in pirate raids, never transported smuggled goods or slaves, never passed by other vehicles in distress without providing help, and never been in service to any of the demon lords. I can't think of any other ship in the Midnight Isles that enjoys such a good and honest reputation. Mielarah utters the last words with pride, as if she were talking about a living creature instead of an airship. Who works on your ship? I handpick my crew personally and extremely meticulously. I try to recruit those who are not completely corrupted by the prevailing customs of this place, let's put it that way. Even here there is a chance, a rare one, but still a chance, to meet a mortal with a good heart, someone who, though poisoned by this malicious environment, is not yet beyond redemption. I do my best to help these people, and if I'm successful, I give them enough gold so they can relocate to some other plane. Then I send them on the way. I hope that this way I'll be able to save at least some decent souls. Alas, in this case, failure come much more often than successes, so to protect my good-hearted but corrupted crew from making irreversible mistakes, I have to rely on some spells. With a smile, Milara taps her finger against her temple. I call it disciplinary thought correction. I understand. The sorceress smiles briefly. I am always at your disposal. I'm leaving now. Fair winds to you too. If you find yourself in need of an excellent airship and a skillful captain, just let me know. There's more to loot over here. And then we have someone called the Red Mask. Get lost. I'm not looking for drinking companions. Okay, we can travel between Nexus and Bad Luck Tavern. Familiar face. This halfling with his horribly burned face and crimson whiteless eyes looks strangely familiar. After a moment's recollection, you remember his features. This is the sobbing man who stumbled into a nest of Vescavors and lost his sight as a result. Luckily for him, you arrived just in time to pull him out of that ditch, only for him to end up in an even more dangerous and sinister place. Don't you recognize me? I saved you from those Vescavors. For a few seconds the halfling is silent, stunned, and then exclaims in excitement. From one eerie eye, a single bloody tear appears, out of sheer emotion perhaps. I thought your voice was familiar, but for the life of me I just couldn't remember where I'd heard it. So it was you. What a surprise, what a joy. I thought I was a goner, and then you grabbed me by my skivvies and snatched me out of the claws of death. I never had the chance to repay you. When I came to, I looked around and there were crusaders everywhere. My first thought was that they got me. They'd caught up to me, those pious dogs. I hadn't noticed that I was unbound and unguarded until later, when I took off running. I wasn't right in the head, you see. I had a nasty fever, and I didn't even get the chance to meet my savior. But not this time. I'm not going anywhere. Here, take it. This is for old Samcrow, the scoundrel who still lives and breathes instead of lying dead in that blasted canyon. What's wrong with your eyes? I thought I healed you. Vescavors left some crap behind, some kind of acidic slime, or maybe those wretches laid their eggs. I don't know. Whatever it was, on the 7th day my left eye went dim, and on the 9th some sort of shadow spawned in my right one. Kept wriggling in there. A healer in the battle bliss cut out my old eyes and sewed these in instead. Now I can see in pitch darkness and tell differences in temperature, and do a bunch of other stuff. A master of his craft, that healer was. Ruthless, though. Why were you scared of the crusaders? As I was legging it away from Kenabres, I just couldn't shake the image of the gallows they'd hang me from for treason and all that. You wouldn't believe all the stunts I pulled off. I smuggled Lady Minago's letters into the city, hid cultists under the guise of merchants' guards in my own home, brought Faxon into the Tower of Estrod, did some research on the Blackwing Library for Lord Xanthir. Who showed the demons where the Crusader barracks were on the first night? Me. They were all cut down, and armoured and half asleep. When the resistance gathered at the Defender's Heart, who was it that found out and told the demons about it? Me again. The whole thing hinged on messengers and spies like me. That's why the Crusaders would have gladly hung me if I were caught. You scum! So many good folks died because of filth like you. Sela clenches her fists, her eyes burning with rage. Hey, has she lost it or something? Get this lunatic away from me, she'll hurt me. Woldriff gives a sweet smile. Pay her no mind, brother. It's just Sister Sela here, still ain't got over the shock of what went down in Kenabres. Those scummy crusaders massacred our side, you know. Sela lost so many of her brothers and sisters in evil, she did all of them killed by that butcher the people of Mendev call the Commander. Oh yeah? So she took part in the storming of Kenabres, did she? Didn't look like a cultist to me, more like one of those damned crusaders. Her? A crusader? Don't make me laugh. She done in her first paladin when she was still in her teens. Swiped the pious sod's helmet right before a battle. You really think a nasty piece of work like that would become a crusader? Sela grits her teeth at the sound of Woldriff's words, but with incredible effort forces herself to hold back the stream of curses trying to escape her lips. She simply gives a grim nod, staring daggers at both the halfling and the tiefling in turn. Why work for the demons? All for wizardly knowledge. I've always been curious to a fault, especially when it comes to magic. Once I was allowed wizard's books, there was no stopping me. So I met a guy who let me read a whole bunch of banned books. It wasn't until later that I found out that it was an apprentice of Xanthir, the Plagued One himself. Now that one knows a lot. So I asked to be the Plagued One's apprentice too. That's how I chose my side. How did you end up in that crevice? As soon as those crusaders started mopping up our forces in Kenabres, I knew it was time to split. Them Eagle Watch interrogators snooping around everywhere asking questions. Just how did Baphomet cultists get into the city with such ease before the attack? You know, half our agents are scholars, not spies. Catch one and he'll rat out the rest. So I was out of there in an instant and on my way back to my mates. Wish I could have found a proper guide though, so I wouldn't have fallen into that Vescavor nest. What are you doing in the abyss? The halfling gives you a sly smile, which looks rather creepy with his red eyes. Same thing you are. Hiding. You're one of Baphomet's agents too, right? Why else would you hole up in this dump with me instead of fighting over in Golarion? I have a keen eye, and I can spot a fellow cultist from a mile away. Some crow grins smugly, clearly proud of his own insight. I don't know if there's any point in actually killing him. I'll be going now. You take care now, and remember, this is no Golarion. Things are rougher here. Indeed. Let's just try to attack him. I just want to see what happens. Gah, so you're an Eagle Watch Hound? Did that bitch Irabeth send you after me? Help! Crusader bounty hunters are all crawling over the abyss now.
Out of my sight!
Yeah, no, there's no point. He gave me what we wanted to. Jesus, that is so loud. I'm gonna see if there's a mod that allows me to adjust the individual volumes. Right, 41 minutes. The next place we need to go to is right. You know what? I think we're going to wrap up this episode here. Otherwise, it'll probably end up at 55 to 60 minutes, and I don't think that. I mean, I have plenty of those in this series, but 45 minutes or less is ideal, I think. So, if you do have any questions and/or comments, please do feel free to leave those in the comment section below, as always. And thank you all so much for joining me. I hope to see you all in the next episode.